Oh, hey there, and welcome to the Ope-Eh Three-Way Pro Wrestling Podcast. Brandon here, as always, joined by my good buds, Donnie and Pierce. Fellas, we are 11 days away, and we're going to be there at Wrestlemania 41. How are we feeling?
Feeling
Feeling
good.
pretty good.
Yeah.
We just updated some tickets, so we got a lot nicer seats for Sunday, and we're feeling good.
Hell yeah.
I'm feeling good too. That was a good move. That was a nice little pivot, if I may use the phrase,
Yep.
the vernacular, I should say.
There has been known to be pivots at WrestleMania before. We're making it happen at WrestleMania 41 for us.
Yeah, I think I don't know if we're going to get into that in a little bit on our favorite weekly segments. But I did recall seeing a clip of a significant WrestleMania pivot. I'm not sure if it actually was today or not, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Otherwise, we're going to talk about AEW Dynasty, give the results of that show. And we'll cover our WrestleMania 41 predictions going into WrestleMania week next week, where we're still not 100% sure we're going to do a full podcast. Or we're going to do some clips or what we're going to do. So we want to make sure we cover off our predictions now with the card that we've got. And if we can get in some time for an episode in Vegas, we will do so.
Bearing in mind, of course, this is no other pivots occur between now and, Saturday, Sunday.
Well, they might have to for Randy Orton. Maybe we could do a little predictions on what we think that's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fair. I got a few ideas.
I've got a few ideas too. But otherwise, I think we're good to.
Oh, Pierce, so nice you had to do it twice.
Yeah, Pierce, tell us what the hell. Oh, I'm going to do it a bunch more times too. I know that's Pierce's favorite segment of all time when I play the button every time he says it.
On this day, we're going to talk about following us on social media: X, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify. But back in 2000 on this day, ECW champion Mike Awesome signed with WCW. I know we had talked about this before, but he was still the champ, and then he showed up on WCW as the champion. Led to a very odd thing that happened where a WCW wrestler lost the ECW championship to a WWE wrestler. So, fun fact.
Sweet.
Yeah, it shows about how much they thought of the value of the ECW championship, really.
Well, if Mike Awesome was thinking of the value of money because he wasn't getting any in ECW in 2000.
Yeah, that's certainly not unique to him either. But I mean, with Mike Awesome, you have like a fucking extreme titan as your champion, and you can't shell out money for that man. I don't know what else you're supposed to do. Greener pastures. Well, happen to be WCW, but
I mean, in 2000, by ECW faithful for a long time. Famously came out to One Night Stand to booze, and then he had that banger of a match with Masato Tanaka and got cheered again.
Sure did.
Jump ahead in 19 years. 2019, the Hardy Boys defeated the Usos for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. I don't know this, but it could be one of the only times a brother team defeated a brother team for a Tag Team Championship. I feel like that's a pretty interesting thing. But, two of the greatest teams of all time duking it out on a random SmackDown. Probably should have happened at a pay-per-view.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably true of WWE. I mean, I have to dig through Owen and Brett's library, but I mean, Briscoes and Bucks, that's happened on the, Indies, Ring of Honor plenty of times. But yeah, WWE not quite as prevalent.
Stage, that's probably one of the only ones.
That's fair. I mean, let me think back. Tokyo Dome. I'd have to do my research on the Tokyo Dome matches because the Briscoes did go to Japan too.
Oh, boy.
I'll have to do my research.
Oh, boy. But we'll end it here with a happy birthday to the EST of WWE and NXT and everything else, Bianca Belair.
Hell yeah. Happy birthday, Bianca.
Happy birthday,
Hopefully
was she 35 now?
I am not sure what her age is. I can look that up right now.
Hopefully her day is a little
Say,
bit
I
less
feel like
stressful than it has been in the last few episodes of Raw, where she's been pretty stressed out.
She's
I only
36.
asked that because I was gonna say I only asked that because I figured we were the same age. I didn't want to be insensitive or nothing. I just like it, when people, my age, weirdly enough, get ahead in the E. I said the same about Bo Dallas too. So, well, cool. Happy birthday, B.
But AEW Dynasty happened. I don't have a fun segue for it because it pissed me off.
That's no
Well,
fun.
that's where I check in
Well, depending.
and say that it was on April 6th out of the Liacouras Center. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that properly, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. This is their second ever Dynasty pay-per-view. It debuted last year. They had 12,000 matches on the card. We're going to go through them 1,000 at a time. Starting with their two pre-show matches, we'll blaze through these ones real quick. Nick Wayne and CRU, Action Andretti and Leo Rush defeated AR Fox and Top Flight. Okay.
Sure. Happened. Probably fun.
And Max Caster's Open Challenge, is where I started actually watching, was answered by a returning Anthony Bowens, who squashed him in 40 seconds.
This Max
Very
Caster
unfortunate.
is great. I'm really enjoying his character work of I'm the best wrestler alive, and then he just dies real quick.
Yeah, very Kurt Hawkins-esque from my recollection.
And
Wonder how long
Bowens,
this streak's gonna go on with Max.
Bowens has got good charisma too, so
He does.
shooting him
I mean,
up
he
like
was always a
that.
standout.
He's back.
So we'll see what happens.
I'm
with
just
both of them.
disappointed. I'm just disappointed. I hope it's not the last time, but I'm just disappointed this match happened on a pre-show and was over in what,
40
a
seconds.
minute 40, something like.
No,
Oh
0
God,
minutes
not
and
even
40
a
seconds.
not even a minute. Oh, horrid. But he did Mosawa proud with that rolling elbow that he had there. So I got to give kudos to Bowens on that 5-tool player, baby.
Yep. Then the main show kicked off with an Owen Hart Cup Tournament quarterfinal match. Why we're having quarterfinal matches actually promoted on pay-per-views throughout the event is very confusing to me. I'll just get into that real quick. Like, if we're having quarterfinal matches, why aren't we having semifinal matches on pay-per-view as well? Like, I don't get it. But anyways, Will Ospreay defeated Kevin Knight in the first match of the men's Owen Hart Cup tournament in about 14 minutes.
Yeah, I won't say what anyone else hasn't already said, but Kevin Knight's going to be a huge star in AEW. I mean, you kind of figured he was going to have chemistry with Will Ospreay based on their similar styles and their similar backgrounds, but I feel like Kevin Knight's been putting in rounds recently after having been with Kushida in the tag ranks for as long as he has, and he's turning a lot of heads. And I mean, it remains to be seen if he can go on the stick and hang on live TV, kind of like how Jay White had to do when he was transitioning over. But man, I see nothing but gold in Kevin Knight's future at AEW for sure.
But it was a talented match. It was a decent match. I mean, it's not the match wasn't anything you haven't already seen before with Will Ospreay, I would say.
Right.
So that's kind of like my perspective from it. It's like, yeah, it was two guys that are good at wrestling having a wrestling match, but it certainly wasn't anything extraordinary, I don't think. Totally fine match.
For an AEW pay-per-view, that's kind of what you want to start off the show, is just an absolute banger between two guys who have bangers. I liked Kevin Knight just not letting Will Ospreay like get his arms for the Styles Clash and kept blocking it. I thought that was cool.
Clasping his hands together, yeah.
Styles Clash has been around for like almost 25 years now. Why has nobody thought of doing that till now?
It's pretty smart.
But yeah, banger, good start to the show.
Next up, we have the Hurt Syndicate successfully defending their AEW Tag Team Championships by defeating the Learning Trees, Big Bill, and Brian Keith in 11 minutes.
They hurt people.
Yeah, they do.
As it happens, they still hurt people.
And MJF still trying to get in, and he helped them win.
He did.
So, and the camera missed it.
So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, the camera work has never been AEW's strong suit, in fairness. So
Fucking is Kevin Dunn working for AEW with the amount of camera cuts they were doing?
maybe.
got to capture all that action, you know?
I will shit on that man any chance I get because he made WWE damn near unwatchable forever.
Then we had the first match in the Women's Owen Hart Cup tournament. Mercedes Moné defeated Julia Hart in 13 minutes.
A little sloppy, but it turned out okay.
It was a fine match. Like, the obvious person won.
Right.
Could have been better. Wasn't terrible. I think it's like a common theme. It's going to go throughout this. It's like it wasn't bad. Could have been
It seemed
better.
like Julia was very over with the crowd.
She was over before she got injured, though. Yeah, she's been over.
Yeah, she's been over pretty much since she's established herself as like the pseudo House of Blackhead, and now Hounds of Hell head.
She's one of the most improved people in AEW since she joined.
Yes.
I would say so. I don't know. Her presentation, like the weird, like Dark Queen thing, I don't know how much it still resonates with me. It's better than what she was doing before. It definitely stands out a lot more than the whole cheerleader gimmick, which she was with the Varsity Blondes. But I don't know, just something about it, man. But I'm not going to deny she's improved a lot in the ring, and she's definitely held her own against some of the toughest women in the company. Hardcore matches too, like when she was TNT champ. So hopefully this continues through the year and she picks up right where she left off and continues to show what she's made of.
Yeah.
Then we had the Death Riders, Claudio Castagnoli, Pac, and Wheeler Yuta successfully defend their trios championships for the first time in what felt like a decade by defeating rated FTR of Cope, Cash Wheeler, and Dax Harwood.
My boy got a pin.
Sorry, say that
Doesn't do
again.
that often. My boy got a pin.
Who is your boy?
Yuta. I love Yuta.
Ugh.
Oh, he's your boy.
Yeah. Making sure you
I don't claim
very
that boy.
clearly that it is your boy and not anybody else's. That man
That's
got
fine.
Full disclaimer.
I'm a Yuta guy, but he doesn't get pins often, and he got a pin there, so I'm happy.
You sure are a one of one, Pierce. And by one of one, I mean the only Wheeler Yuta fan.
No, when we and Brandon were at Dynamite, in our section, there were like 3 other dudes cheering for Yuta with me.
Yikes.
Well, yeah, 3 out of that kind of is a low numerator when you compare it to a denominator of how many people were there, though.
I'm one of 4, and I'm going to take it.
That's fine. 4 is a good number.
The more relevant part to this was the post-match, though, where Cope got murdered.
He absolutely did.
Yeah, so they did the whole, like, oh, better luck next time, we'll get him next time garbage that they, happens after tag matches or 6-mans or whatever. And then Dax attacked Cope, gave him a pile driver, wanted to give him a concerto. Cash Wheeler tried to stop him. Then they gave him a shatter machine and a spike pile driver and then double concertos.
And then stole his neck brace and the stretcher.
Yes.
Let's not forget that. That's hilarious.
Probably the funniest thing that Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler have done in their wrestling career.
Well, the only other time they were doing comedy is when Vince made them shave each other's backs and, have itch powder put on them. So,
yeah, I'd say this clears that by a considerable margin. I don't.
It was bad shit.
Does this
How soon
lead...
before?
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you were. I think we might have had the same thought. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, does this lead to Cope needing to find a tag team partner to help him out.
Oh,
Potentially somebody else from in and around the greater Orangeville area.
someone
You
who
know, we had-
you might even think they have similar initials to give a nice little CC, maybe even an extra C
Yeah, could be.
on a card.
Yeah, I could see the old Edge and Christian get together for, against FTR at All In. You guys see the vision there?
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I mean, they're gonna need a face tag team. They don't really have many face tag teams right now.
They don't have any
So
many
Well, I mean,
tag
not that
teams
they're
at all.
pushing, but
Uh,
yeah. Pierce, you're still eyeing up All In tickets, right? Would you go to see that match? I mean, not just that match, but would that put you any closer to pushing the purchase button?
not really. I'm just so done with Copeland. He needs to
Cope.
he needs to cope and take a
Cope
pin.
and seethe.
Yeah,
It's
well,
Well, he took a monster ass whooping. Isn't that enough?
he's good at taking
He's
the
taken
ass
so many
took a-
monsters ass whippings and still won the match.
Yeah, he broke his damn leg and he still won a match. He snapped his
I
fucking
mean, yeah.
leg. Like Greg Jennings. He was literally Greg Jennings in Madden 2010?
Yeah.
Tell me you don't know that clip. Come on now.
Of
Greg
course I do.
Oh, yeah.
Jennings.
You're kind of going back through the memory banks there, but wow,
Yeah.
that's a.
Yeah,
I had to dust that one off.
we don't talk about Darren Shapa anymore though. He's canceled.
Because he's
Darren
a
Shapa.
piece of shit.
Yeah.
Darren Shapa, as
Yeah.
JPJ might say.
Yeah, but Cope is not putting the team on his back though. That we know.
Nope, he just needs his dad. And everybody's dad, for that matter.
Yes. So I'll see if that happens. After that, Timeless Tony Storm defended her AEW Women's World Championship by defeating Megan Bayne in 15 and a half minutes. This match was very good. I will
Showcase
say
for
that.
Bane.
Yep. Bayne did very well.
Yeah.
Tony Storm did well. It wasn't a gore porn match. I dug it. It was a good
Right.
match.
Kicked out of the Storm 0-1.
Yeah.
That's a big stamp for saying somebody's the future. And
And
it's
3
like
hip checks too. Let's not forget.
Yep. And it's like I said when Storm won the title, she's kind of been mastering the small package, and makes sense she would be able to beat somebody with it.
Great. That's just what we need. Our world champion to continually win with small packages.
After getting their finishers made to look like jokes for the second consecutive big match that they've had, or that she's had rather. I mean, it's they did great in showcasing Megan Bayne as like a monster, and I've said this before. Like Camille should have gotten that treatment. I will go to bat for that bitch as much as I can whenever they want to have these women's title match discussions. But I mean, in lieu of that, I will say Megan Bayne looked fucking amazing. She looked like a fucking monster. They're building her right.
Camille's in Guantanamo Bay. She's in the tag division with Britt Baker.
Guantanamo Bay, he said. I mean, that's probably a fair assessment, yeah.
But
no, Megan Bayne definitely put out a lot more than I expected for their initial encounter, and I'm very excited to see what they do with her. These are two women who are not short on presentation.
Nope,
not at all.
Then next up we had Kyle Fletcher defeat Mark Briscoe in a Owen Hart quarterfinal match. It was within 16 minutes. It was fine, but like, why is this match on a pay-per-view?
Why is Mark Briscoe taking one of the most disgusting pumps I've ever seen? I know that's kind of a Briscoe thing, but that powerbomb on the rail.
But like, everybody and their mother knew that he had zero chance of beating Kyle Fletcher. Why did this go 16 minutes on a pay-per-view?
Well, I mean, they made it a believable win because Fletcher had never beaten Briscoe before this. So they made it seem like, hey, and I mean, Mark Briscoe's a legend in his own right. it makes sense that they could go 16 minutes. It probably didn't need to be on a pay-per-view, but I mean, Fletcher is their star of the future, clearly. So if you're going to showcase him, why not showcase him on a pay-per-view?
I mean, if
Well,
we're talking
Fletcher
about, sorry, go
probably had to
ahead.
blow off some steam after. No, he probably had to blow off some steam after that cage match slash gore porn that he executed against Will Ospreay
Yeah,
back at the previous event. So this is him just kind of letting loose. And then, right, like you said, against Mark Briscoe, there's probably not too many people who are better. Gives Mark a chance to showcase himself too, which I mean,
yeah.
really should be.
It's just my perspective of like, it's a foregone conclusion who's going to win this match. It's a
Sure.
quarterfinal match. Like, why wouldn't you have Hangman Adam Page versus a wild card on instead, right? Because that one actually has more intrigue to it. I mean, I think that's on Dynamite later on tonight, but and maybe who that ends up being is due to some events that happened later on in the show. But that one just inherently screams more interesting than Kyle Fletcher versus Mark Briscoe. Like, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's fair.
Speaking of not interesting, in a title versus mask match for the Ring of Honor World Championship,
Okay, I see what you did there.
I'm going to make sure I read this correctly. Chris Jericho defeated Bandito. Then the match was restarted. And then Bandito defeated Chris Jericho and is the new Ring of Honor World Champion.
I
Yes,
hate this
because I might have made myself out to be a mark on Twitter when I wasn't following along his COD highlights, and I might have semi shit myself when I saw Jericho retain against Bandito again. But no, I guess the Bandito fan pointed out that there was a bat in the stairs, and what's her name, Aubrey Edwards, just went ahead and was like, "Hey, he probably did that," and then gave Bandito another chance.
That's
And now Bandito's a
bogus,
two-time
by
Ring
the
of Honor
way.
champion.
Just
I thought it
like,
was bogus too.
it's so stupid. Like, they pointed at the bat tucked behind the stairs, but like no referee ever saw him use it, and yet they're still just
Exactly.
restarting the match. Like, they could have just been lying. We know what happened.
Exactly.
But like,
Jericho should have just lost clean. Why does they need to do this like dusty ass finish? Jericho should have just lost clean, and that should have been it.
And for the Ring of Honor title, no less too. And I'm sorry,
I
like
mean,
I will always blaze Ring of Honor where I can.
yeah, you can
that's
blaze
ridiculous.
it, but it means nothing. It means nothing. Like, I'm sorry, but like, it's a worthless title at this point.
I mean, this certainly did no favors for the title's prestige. I'll say that much. The best that they could have done for it is get it off of fucking Chris Jericho. Old man Jericho's no longer the ROH champ. We can thank Christ for it, and we can move along and see what else they got in store for Bandito, who's been gone for so fucking long. He's super talented. He's been super talented, very understated. But I'm curious and I'm excited to see what they do with it. I know what y'all think about the ROH title. You have points. I'm just saying, I have faith. Somewhat.
Yeah, well, I think you're gonna set yourself up for more disappointment, quite frankly. It's
Well,
Tony Khan booking Ring of Honor. Like, he doesn't care.
Yeah, you're fair. Well, they got Supercard of Honor coming up here within the next month or two also. So I guess we'll just see. Probably it's just going to be another fucking rematch, honestly.
Yeah, it's going to be a rematch, and then Jericho's going to fucking lose in another dusty finish, and then he's going to go back to Dynamite, and he's going to be like, oh, Adam Cole has the TNT title. Maybe I want that.
Speaking of which, Adam Cole is your new TNT champion by defeating Daniel Garcia in 15 minutes, who I also felt like never defended his title either.
So he never defended it on pay-per-view. It was a very good TV title reign, but they didn't give him a chance to shine on pay-per-view where he won the title. If they would have let him defend it on pay-per-view, I think we'd be looking at it a little more fondly. But
instead,
because
they
it's not on
a whole bunch of matches in the Continental Classic.
He should not have been in the Continental Classic. He should have just been defending the title.
I agree, but that's not what happened.
Well, and to be fair, though, too, it is a TV title. And if you're trying to create intrigue for TV, you should be having these banger matches with Danny Garcia involved on TV. Like,
Which they
Yes.
did.
This is,
But
They did.
then, may I
they
present
should be
to
doing
you
more.
Mercedes Monet, who consistently gets pay-per-view matches with a television title.
And I agree with that statement. It's just unfortunate. Either way, I'm happy that Adam Cole won. It's nice to see him with some gold, and hopefully he can really bounce this title back to its prominence of when it was first brought in.
Yeah, I have confidence that Adam Cole can do good work with this title.
Baby.
Bye-bye.
What's next for Danny Garcia, though?
Dancing.
He was already dancing, and he
He's
lost the
get-
title.
And he's going to continue to dance. Because that's all
Sad
Tony
dance.
Khan wants him to do.
3-time Ring of Honor Pure Champion. There you go. Wiping my hands of it. Someone's got to face Lee Moriarty.
Oh, gosh.
Sorry, continue. Sorry.
Kenny Omega defeated Ricochet and Speedball Mike Bailey in a three-way match for the International Championship. This match was good. This match was also way too fucking long. It was 31 minutes.
God damn.
If you're going to have a Kenny singles match, have it that long. But if you're going to have a trios match, don't have it go too long. Kenny is one of the best ever. And one of the reasons is in his one-on-one singles matches and his tag matches, for that matter, he tells like insane stories while in the ring. Doing a triple threat probably didn't help that, but I mean, it's Kenny Omega, it's Speedball Mike Bailey, it's Ricochet. You're expected to get good graps.
And those were there. Those were there. It just felt like it was like 10 minutes too long. Like I watched the match, I was impressed by the match. It just felt like it went too long. And with the entire pay-per-view ending at like after midnight in the Eastern time zone, like this match doesn't need to go on that long. And they also would probably cut like 2 or 3 other matches
before that match even started. So
yeah,
One of the Tony Khan conundrums. You know, all these great matches.
I like that it was a Avalanche One-Winged Angel that got the win. Even though nobody kicks out of the One-Winged Angel.
but yeah,
Fucking nobody's kicking out of an Avalanche one.
Extra smoke on it, right? We'll get into this at the very end on what I thought about like these matches as a whole. But before that, we got to talk about an unfortunate main event.
Again,
Jon Moxley is still your AEW World Champion by defeating Swerve Strickland with the help of the returning Young Bucks.
in what logical fucking sense does it make for the Young Bucks to help Jon Moxley? The last time that we saw anybody in the Elite not named Okada, they were running scared of the Death Riders. And now they come back and fucking help? It's so stupid. The Death Riders experiment is over. Darby's off in fucking India going to climb a mountain, probably jump off the mountain and then pin somebody after hitting them with a coffin drop, most likely.
Oh, sure, as well, no way him.
Put the title on Swerve. He's your biggest star. He's by far, and then you have a built-in story for All In with Swerve versus Hangman. Simple as that.
I already told you there was no way in hell Jon Moxley was losing at Dynasty. I told you that after Revolution. There was no way in hell Moxley was losing at Dynasty.
So he's losing it All In to fucking who? Ospreay?
Probably Ospreay.
That's what they're gearing for.
Unless
Double or Nothing is not the time for AEW World Title matches. It's time for Anarchy in the Arena.
Yeah, unless Darby Allin coffin drops from a helicopter coming back from Mount Everest. There you go.
I'd pay to see that.
Yeah, it'd be good booking.
Darby would probably do it too. So
he would do it.
Yeah, he would.
No, probably involved. He would.
Yeah, he definitely would. Hangman Adam Page did get involved. He wasn't sure who he wanted to attack between Jon Moxley and Swerve Strickland, but then once he was attacked by other members of the Death Riders, he chose to attack Jon Moxley, which I thought was interesting.
It's so deflating that so many people are saying, hey, this sucks. Stop it. The Death Riders are one of the worst factions of all time at this point, despite having so many titles. And it's just so deflating to have that. And then have the Young Bucks come back and do what they were doing already and ruining fucking pay-per-views and TV.
Stupid little fucking lights out routine that they always do with these returns, and then you see that and you're like, fuck this, I'm out. I'm beating traffic.
So many people left when they saw the Young Bucks. Like, you can see people leaving on the screen.
You see the upstream traffic starting to go. Like, see ya.
What are we doing here? What are we actually doing here?
Oh, you see what you're
We
doing
are
is
crowning
Go ahead.
Will Ospreay at All In.
Yeah,
We're crowning Will Ospreay at All In is what we're doing.
For now, what you're doing is you're building the biggest heel run for a main champion. Did you see that interview with Cope where he's like, John Moxley's just doing his job being a heel, having people not like it? Like, that's his job. You're getting worked.
There's a difference between heat and go away heat, though.
Well, don't tell that to Cope or John Moxley or Tony Khan because they don't believe in that.
Or the Young Bucks, for that matter.
That's also true.
Copeland has go away heat in my eyes too. So
yeah, they're all bad. They're all bad right now.
It comes down to this fucking all friends wrestling and the inmates running the asylum, and
Yep.
it's just the last people that I wanted to see fucking Sunday night were the Young Bucks.
Overall for this show, though, I just want to wrap this up because we have a bunch of predictions to do for WWE, a much more anticipated pay-per-view. When I was watching this show, I was like, this card isn't bad. Like, the wrestling quality is fine. But, like, most of these matches, who gives a shit? Like, there was 3 quarterfinal Owen Hart Cup tournament matches. Who cares? It's a quarterfinal. It doesn't need to be on a pay-per-view. Okay? Then you have 2 titles that seemingly never get defended, finally get defended, but, like, still kind of felt like who cares about both of those matches. Couple other matches that were fine, and then the shit fest of the main event. Like, why did I care about this show? Why did I spend fucking 5 hours watching the show?
Yeah, it seems like Tony's taken a lot of that goodwill that came from the praise of his pay-per-views over the last year and is kind of just gradually sifting it out. And now, I mean, I couldn't believe they actually attempted some bloodline bullshit with 2 weeks to go before WrestleMania. Like, that's meant to be a callback or a harken or something to that effect. Or maybe it was some Attitude Era nonsense. Who the fuck knows what goes on in Tony's head? But, I mean, they got to figure out that formula. Like, they had something good going. Even with the quantity of matches, you could trust the quality by and large for a good while there. And now we're just starting to see the decline. And hopefully by All In, they figure it out. Hopefully by All In, they can at least justify the $30 or whatever ticket price that they're trying to haggle for it. But, I mean, you did see they're teasing Okada Omega as well.
Yeah,
whatever match number.
That I think are going to happen at All In. You're going to get Edge and Christian versus FTR. I mean, it looks like Moxley versus Ospreay. You're going to get Omega versus Okada in a title unification match. And then Swerve and Hangman versus the Young Bucks.
Yeah, but I thought Hangman was turning heel.
Nah.
I was saying that for a while, that it did not look like he was going heel, and Pierce was saying he was.
Well, they tried heel Hangman for 3 months, and they're like, maybe we put him back as babyface. What's the point?
Yeah,
that was kind of disappointing.
Add nuance to his character. He's already a super nuanced, super interesting character as
he
is.
Burns his fucking house down, and less than a year later, they're going to be tag team partners. Just figure that out.
Well, to be fair, Swerve did acknowledge he was in the wrong.
Yeah, segment last week added something, and it kind of broke Hangman's brain. But it's just, I don't want to see the Young Bucks on television. I don't want to see Moxley, and that's coming from a Moxley fan. It's just
still,
this Moxley is the worst version of Moxley, but like as a whole, I'm still a Moxley fan.
One of one, it seems like in this era, Pierce. One of one.
I'm not saying I'm a fan of current Moxley. I'm a fan of his body of work. There's a difference.
How much skin does he have to shave off of his back before you decide to do a turn on him?
I'm allowed to
Like, what
have
does he have to do to?
somebody?
Oh,
You guys
I'm
don't
not discrediting.
You guys think I'm not able to do that?
No, not at all. I'm not trying to badmouth or nothing. I'm just curious as to like what then would make you feel differently about Mr. Moxley. Because I mean, he's given reason to kind of, change opinion on him, like with the match he had with Lesnar at 32, with the work he's been doing as AEW World Champion in this run, with the Death Riders, with that god awful fucking T-shirt he
I don't
tried to
want to go
peddle.
too far into this because I do want to get to the Mania predictions, but Mania
Sure.
32 was not Moxley's fault. Brock was going into a UFC fight and could not give less of a shit of who he was working with at Mania.
Yeah, that's one part of it, I suppose.
Yeah,
We
that's
could
one
talk about
side of
that
it.
as
There's
other
also
ones.
the other side of a lot of the discussion associated to Moxley pitching a bunch of shit that Brock was like, "Are you fucking stupid?"
The shit that he pitched, half of it didn't get to Brock, and then the one thing that did, Brock's like, "Yep, that's a good idea," and that was on the day of, and then he then said, "No, I don't want to do that."
Be curious to know what old Stone Cold thought of that match with Dean Ambrose. Dean! Actually, speaking of Stone Cold, he might actually, given all the merchandise and the Hall of Fame induction and the pictures and signings, he may actually make an appearance at WrestleMania this year, boys.
Well, there's our transition there. So let's talk about WrestleMania 41, the 2-night extravaganza on the 19th and 20th of April. Yes, officially, what do we say, 11 days away? 10 days away? 10 days away.
11 days from. Oh, 10 from Saturday, that's right. 11 days from my WrestleMania.
So we're
11 days for Brandon.
Yeah, 10
Yes.
days for everyone else. And
Yeah.
Brandon while he's watching it from somewhere else. But
From poolside.
yeah, we currently have 11 matches, 3 of which are confirmed for night 1, and 2 of which are confirmed for night 2. Those are obviously as well probably the most important matches, so we'll leave them for a bit. Let's first start talking about, we talked about this really briefly,
The most important match. El Grande Americano versus Rey Mysterio.
No, I was going to go a little bit beyond that. I'm going to talk about the match that is not on the card anymore, which is Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens.
Very unfortunate.
Yeah, so Kevin has been diagnosed with a neck issue that he needs surgery on and could be out as much as 2 years in recovery from this procedure. Hopefully, it is not nearly that bad. Hopefully, he recovers and is back as quickly and as healthy as possible, because Kevin Owens is great. And it really sucks that he can't be a part of Mania for what was going to be quite an interesting match, I think, between him and Randy, even if it did ended up with him getting punted in the head.
Something that's been building.
Could have definitely been a sleeper hit.
6 months.
So what do we do with Randy Orton then?
Him versus Nick Aldis.
I thought you were going to say Andre the Giant Battle Royal winner.
Absolutely not. He's not going to be Bobby Lashley showing up with a fucking trophy randomly.
So
there's one accolade Randy Orton has not won.
Why do you want him to go against Nick Aldis?
So Nick Aldis got RKO'd. He didn't deserve to get RKO'd. Maybe he's just like, you're going to face somebody of my choosing at Mania. And then it turns out to be Aldis. Haven't seen Aldis wrestle in a couple years. You have 2 guys who are truly old school in their approach. Aldis is very much a throwback to older wrestling, if you've seen him wrestle. And you have Orton, who is one of the most old school guys left in the WWE. Just give them 10, 15 minutes, just go, and then Aldis can take a loss. He doesn't need to win this match at all. He probably just goes back into being manager. Or if they want him to continue to wrestle after that, absolutely fine. But I think,
It's just an easy, quick story to write, and it gives Aldis a great platform for his WWE debut, and it gives Randy somebody as old school as him to wrestle.
Brandon, do you have an opinion? If it's different, the same?
I mean, I'd wager that's a pretty good stance to take on it. I wish there would be more time to actually build that. And it's not like Randy and Nick haven't had their own little mini feud in the background there. They haven't had their own little kayfabe heat. But I feel like, especially if you want to debut a guy like Nick Aldis, and when you consider his resume, having been, and you can speak to the current NWA, Corgan's NWA, but having been NWA champ for 1,000+ days, also
And
having co-headlined the first all-in event with Cody Rhodes for that championship.
Who did he beat for that championship for his 1,000-day reign? Cody.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if it were Aldis, great, but damn, like, and it's just unfortunate again that Kevin had to undergo this tragedy, with a week or so out from Mania. But I mean, Aldis might be the guy. People have said like Aleister Black
yeah, I was
too,
gonna
but
say.
they're
So let's
talking
let's
about.
let's talk about two of the returning talent that are imminent to be coming back to WWE, and that's Alistair / Malachi Black and Rusev / Miro, both of which are imminent to return to WWE.
So they've already been airing packages for Black. I could see Miro jumping back in at Mania though. I don't think Miro needs the countdown like Aleister does. I think they could throw Miro / Rusev in the match, call it Rusev Day. Uh, doesn't matter who. I mean, if you want to put over Rusev / Miro, I feel like that's the smart thing to do. I feel like Randy can take the L at this point in his career. I mean, it's
But
not
he
for a
hasn't
title or
won on
anything.
pay-per-view like in a one-on-one match in like 3 years. So I assumed that Randy would probably be going over Kevin.
I do expect him to win as well because Backlash is in St. Louis, and I wouldn't be shocked if he gets a title match in St. Louis. So I don't see Randy losing. But if he was to lose, I think one more option, which will never happen, but would be a good candidate for Randy, and that's Uncle Howdy. And the reason for that is because Bray Wyatt's last WrestleMania match was that horrendous match with Randy at 38,
37.
37, excuse me.
37.
Yeah. Bray Wyatt never wrestled again at WrestleMania, and Randy needs an opponent, and Bo Dallas should be healthy. You can make it work.
You could.
I think so.
I don't think that anybody returning should face him because I think Randy's probably winning, and I don't think they can come in and just immediately take a loss. I think with Aldis doing it, it makes more sense because he's been not wrestling with WWE. If you're gonna bring somebody that's not a returning wrestler, I think Uncle Howdy or Karrion Kross would fit very well.
I don't think Kross works because he's just on Raw. I think you're better off with like Carmelo Hayes and him just having a banger. If that's
you don't want brand supremacy at WrestleMania.
I definitely don't. There's nothing connecting the two. There's no reason to have that match, I would say.
Right.
No offense to Karrion. If he can get on the card, that would be great. But I don't think Randy Orton's the way to do it.
Nope.
I would say Sami Zayn would be a more logical one if that was to work, but it doesn't seem like Sami's going to be on the show at all either.
Nope.
Which is crazy, considering his impact on the pay-per-view last year.
Last couple of years.
True. Not wrong.
But now we'll move into the official matches. And yes, we will start with a Lucha Legend versus another Lucha Legend, and that is Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano.
Americano should win. I assume that he wins, and then LWO attack him, and then they take the mask off and reveal whoever it is. I really have no idea who it is. It's definitely not Chad Gable.
Some legend from the Gulf of America.
Yes.
This is fun. It's going to be a fun match.
Yeah, it's
Fine.
literally just a fun showcase match, and sometimes you need that at WrestleMania.
Yep.
I suppose. I don't know. Why not Dragon Lee in this match? Right? Dragon Lee got his mask ripped off. It was his lucha legacy that got besmirched by
Because they
one
had
Grande
that match
Americano.
last week.
They can have it again.
They had Dragon Lee versus El Grande, and then this week they had LWO, which included Dragon Lee versus El Grande.
You're not going to have Dragon Lee on WrestleMania and not Rey Mysterio. Come on,
And
Rey
that's, I guess, the
Mysterio's the
point
bigger
that
star. I get what you're saying,
Well,
Brandon. But Rey Mysterio's the biggest lucha
he's
star.
stifling the luchadors, man. Someone had a point to that.
That's the point.
It's WrestleMania. Like I have a problem with them running this many matches on a 2-night thing where they just like shove everyone in there for the sake of doing it. Rey Mysterio's got to be in that spot, not Dragon Lee. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel. I mean, Ray's going to be Ray
until he retires.
Until he retires.
Yeah. It's just it is what it is.
I suppose. Well, couldn't have had Chelsea Green or Lyra Valkyria in that slot though, but you know.
I mean, there's no saying that they can't. Like right now, we're only looking at 5.5 matches per night, which there's probably going to be more than that. So I would say there's still probably space.
15.
Yeah, I'm crossing fingers.
There's space for both, but we'll get into those in a bit too.
Sure.
Do you have a prediction for the match?
Probably not too dissimilar from what Pierce is saying. I think the greatest luchador to ever come out of America's Gulf, and certainly not Mexico's. I think his identity may stand a chance at getting revealed. We can be sure he's American made, but how American?
I do think Rey Mysterio actually wins the match. I think Rey wins just from hijinks, mask revealing nonsense.
Sure. It's possible. One way or another, it'll be fun.
Yes. So. After that, we have in a fatal 4-way match for the Intercontinental Championship, Braun Breaker defends against Penta, Finn Balor, and Dominic Mysterio. And we know one person who will not be at ringside, and that is Carlito, after being murdered by Braun Breaker on Monday night.
That might be the greatest spear of all time.
Holy shit.
So good.
Huge pop. My God.
Did you see how he just kicked it into like 5th gear halfway down the ramp? He starts one speed and then it's like they hit a fast forward button in the camera or something. Just off like a fucking shot.
Is a monster. Like, I can't recall seeing somebody as just that damn impressive physically than him ever, I don't think. Like, you've seen like the big strongman spots and you see like running the rope speedy spots, but like this guy just does it all. This guy is a freak.
Right, we were talking 5-tool players with fucking Bowens. Boys, Braun Breaker is the deal. And I kind of slight tangent, I can't see when his cousin debuts, Brock Breaker, whatever the fuck his name's going to be.
He's so way early on, but...
Oh, sure, but I'm just... Like I said, just slight curiosity, because that family has got some dominant-ass genes in them, boy. And...
The freaks.
Yeah, genetic freaks. And they're not normal. That is not normal what Braun Breaker does in that ring.
Who wins the match, though?
Dom.
Oh, wow. Both say Dom, eh? Did we finally get the final nail in the coffin for Judgment Day?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, we've been blue balling this for a little too long. It's time for that Intercontinental Championship belt to get a little sucio, if you catch my drift.
Yeah. Dom pinning Finn Balor to win the Intercontinental title makes sense to me.
I mean, he's going to snake it through.
For all 4 men, this has like WrestleMania show stealer match written all over it. It's going to be a fun first WrestleMania match for Penta and Braun for that matter. But I think it's time for Dom to get a WrestleMania win.
Yep.
just a big win in general. He's been grinding at this for a good while now, since I think before even COVID. But I mean, I think he's ready to stand on his own. I think 2025 is going to be great for him. I
I
think they
don't know
said
if he
that in
needs to stand on his own. I think he could still be with Liv Morgan, and like they work.
well, Liv, sure, and like Raquel and Carlito, I suppose.
Yeah, like
Finn's
I
not
think
going to
the
be part of that equation anymore,
no,
though.
no, Finn's toast. Um,
Or JD.
yeah, JD will be toast too, but for a different reason. Like he might. Well, we'll speculate with that when hopefully he gets back soon, because
You're right.
yeah, guy's a beast. But we all agree, Dominic winning.
Yep.
That probably sets Braun Breaker onto a more important title too at that point, similar to what happened with Gunther last year.
Yeah, I'd have to say so.
Next up is Jade Cargill versus Naomi.
This is the first like non-title women's match in quite a long time at WrestleMania. And for that, let's be happy that it's happening. This is one of the hottest stories going into Mania. Naomi is going to die.
Yep. I don't think Naomi wins. Now, I was going to get into this in a little bit. Now it seems like a good time to talk about it. There are no stipulations to any of the matches currently booked. Should this one have a stipulation to it?
Yeah, you could have like a street fight, something like that.
We need something, right? Like mind you, like triple threats and fatal four ways, they're no DQ, so like shit can happen. But like, there's
Mhm.
no gimmick match at all on these 11 matches that we're talking about here.
Yeah, I think this match validates something that takes them out to the parking lot, personally.
Yeah, I agree.
We're not having a parking lot brawl at WrestleMania. Brian.
No, they're not going to have a parking lot brawl. I'm not saying it's got to be a parking lot brawl specifically, but it's got to go around the arena a little bit.
I wouldn't have a
I mean,
problem
especially
with
when
it being
you
a parking lot
consider
brawl, honestly.
when you consider it, the tie-in of Jade's injury too, like kind of a karma comeuppance. Maybe she power bombs or press slams Naomi on top of a car with some real glass on that windshield.
I don't.
Since they've been a little bit keen on making some pretty elite references there as of late.
Yeah, don't have it on night one. Make sure that match is on night two. You might get someone pissed off.
He might think it's funny. I don't know. I feel like him and Jade are kind of in the same boat with that whole thing. Well, Jade actually, I guess, didn't leave on bad terms with AEW.
No, but they get along very well. They get along very well.
Yes, they did.
Jade wins. We all agree?
Yeah, Jade wins.
Mm-hmm.
Then we go on to the next match, which is Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez defending the Women's Tag Team Championship against an unknown winner of a gauntlet match happening this Friday. As I go through the list, I sent the list to you guys when we were watching live on Monday. The list of potential candidates it could be. Let me get this pulled out because it does not say it on.
I don't think it matters because I think the champs retain unless it's the spooky girls of Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Or the Slagents. I could see the Slagents winning.
Well, assuming they want to pit heel versus heel in a tag match,
So the options are currently right now Katana Chance and Caden Carter, Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark, Natalia and Maxine Dupree, the Secret Hervis, Michin and B-Fab, and Lyra Valkyria and Bailey. So if Lyra doesn't get a women's IC title match, I would expect it to be Lyra and Bailey. Because I don't see both of them getting left off the card. And right now, Bailey doesn't have a match. So logically speaking, it's probably those two, which, in my opinion, woof. But nevertheless. Personally, yes, a surprise. Again, like, what the fuck are the Wyatt Six doing? Yeah, I understand Bo got hurt, but like, there's 4 other of them. They could be doing anything. Alexa Bliss hasn't been
Right.
back since Elimination Chamber. The fuck's going on?
They're saving for something big, Don.
Oh God.
And I mean, if they wanted to say, like, this is a big event, it's the biggest event. So why? And since they formed, how many pay-per-views PLEs has the Wyatt Six been on? Approximately 0.
0. I don't think
So,
they've had a single
so
pay-per-view match.
and people are talking, like, I don't know. People are talking, how do you resurrect the intrigue of the Wyatt Six? I feel like this is where you get them involved. I don't know how, if or how you get them involved in that gauntlet match this Friday. They're on SmackDown though, so it would stand to reason.
Yeah, I mean both.
Um,
It's contestants from or participants from both shows are on there. No NXT tag teams though, interestingly enough, which they've
very
had.
interestingly.
Yeah, like I would have thought maybe the Meta Girls may have been on there because they've had some
Well,
opportunities, but
what's going on there is, and it's a slight segue, but they're actually probably going to be more involved in the TNA Knockouts tag title pictures because you've had the Metaphor Girls and now you have Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley over there mixing things up for that, which I'm sure they're trying to get things going for Rebellion on their end because they got their own tentpole pay-per-view coming up. But
not to be rude,
that would
but
explain NXT.
I do think they're having their own tag team thing at Stand and Deliver. If you watched NXT on Tuesday, because
Right.
I didn't get a chance to catch it,
yeah,
but I know that they're involved in
TNA.
two title pictures, kind
It's
of.
not TNA related. They're talking about doing something at Stand and Deliver. But
Okay.
anyways, sorry to shoot you down, buddy, but
No, but I mean, Rebellion ain't till May anyway, so like that's what I'm saying. Like, there's time, and they've been building it on TV too on their end. So that's in any case, it explains why they likely wouldn't have anything going on for WrestleMania either. There's just a lot of
7 minutes in, Brandon talked about TNA for the first time.
yeah. Aren't you proud of me? I mean, it's going to happen at some point this next week, that's for sure. But in any case,
Liv and Raquel retain unless we get Alexa and Nikki.
Unless there's some spoops.
Yeah. All right, moving on.
hoping for a scooping.
For the U.S. Championship, LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu.
Jacob by murder.
You think LA Knight only holds the title for like a month?
Well, so I think they probably wanted Shinsuke to hold it for a month to go into the Noah show as champ, and then he got, or like 2 months, he was going to lose it probably that week where until his friend passed away.
Yeah, he was supposed
So they
to
gave
lose
him
it
a
in
week
Toronto.
off. And so, I mean, yeah, unless they have Solo turn on Jacob here, which they could, but I really doubt they do, Jacob by murder.
I think they do have Solo turn on Jacob here. I don't think Jacob as a U.S. Jacob doesn't need to be U.S. champion.
No, but
Not necessarily.
I think it'd be nice.
I don't like.
It goes both ways, right?
It just it totally. I think I don't want to say it invalidates that title, but no one's gonna fucking beat him until Solo interferes. So why even bother giving him that title to begin with? He doesn't need it. My opinion, of course.
Right.
Well,
I don't think he needs
That's
it.
I mean, if Jacob's gonna, I don't know how much LA Knight really needs it either, though. If we're gonna go by that logic, if you're talking about Braun Breaker, freeing up the Intercontinental Championship to shoot a little higher, the same could easily be said of LA Knight too. He's not, unlike Braun, he's not. I mean, nobody's getting any younger, right? But LA Knight's definitely not in his 20s anymore.
Yeah,
You might make the mistake of thinking so because of how he moves and everything like that. But
yeah, I get what you're saying there too. But LA Knights at least had some opportunities there, right? He did main event Crown Jewel against Roman Reigns.
Yeah, a couple of years back there.
Yeah, which I mean, yeah, sure, he could be. LA Knight could be a great Money in the Bank winner. He doesn't need the U.S. title now. I agree, but neither did Shinsuke. You know who needs the U.S. title? Carmelo Hayes, or Malachi Black, or Rusev, or Andrade, or Rey Fenix. Those are the kind of guys that need that title.
Sure.
Not LA Knight and not Jacob Fatu. My opinion. I think LA Knight retains because Solo screws him.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm on Jacob train though. So.
Yeah. We know he's your guy, and there's nothing wrong with that. He's great. I think he gets more story-driven feuds and not tied down to a mid-card title.
If
Go ahead.
Solo, if just real quick, if Solo does end up turning on Jacob, I don't know that it's so soon as WrestleMania. I think it's a little closer to SummerSlam, personally. Like maybe Jacob wins it and they tease it throughout. Maybe Solo tries to get the WWE Championship and restore honor to the new bloodline that way, and he can't do shit. And meanwhile, Jacob's tearing through fucking everybody like he always does, and then that builds resentment in Solo, and then you see the turn maybe about a month or two prior to SummerSlam, maybe even at Money in the Bank. And then that's when you see the build for that match. In my mind, WrestleMania is a little soon, but
we'll have to see. I mean, we don't want to get to that point where you think it's going to happen, it doesn't happen, and then it drags out forever. Like, shout out
sure.
Austin Theory and Grayson Waller.
Yeah.
They
could have had a Mania match this year.
Like for me, logically, they should. Like, you don't want to put them on Mania, fine, but give them a Raw after Mania match where they're split up and done. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So
well,
like
we get to see that too. So
that's kind of where I'm going with Jacob and Solo. You don't want to wait so long that you just ruin shit. But anyways,
right, that it loses the luster.
Yeah. AJ Styles versus Logan Paul.
Styles. Or
this is a toss-up. I think Styles wins, but it's like I'm 60% Styles, 40% Paul. It's probably going to be a banger, but yeah, I don't really have too much to say on it.
Yeah, this is like a coin flip, honestly. I think Logan Paul wins. I don't think AJ Styles needs the win, but there's no wrong answer here.
If Paul wins, it's going to be in a manner that gets him somehow more heat than he already has on him. I mean, he's already 1-1 for WrestleMania, or is it 2-1? Because he had a Mania match with The Miz. Okay, because I know he had the Mania match tagging with The Miz at 38. I want to say. So yeah, he can go 2-2. I don't see why not. I mean, this is his last contract too. So who's to say if this or next is his last Mania? But
we'll see.
And AJ hasn't won a Mania. He didn't win at Mania last year. Logan did. So if you want to get down to Bears semantics, you can kind of look at that and be like, oh, well, we can pack AJ away with this one too.
Now we're on to our matches that are already announced for specific nights. I'm still going to split them off in more of a logical order here. This match is night 1, and it is for the Women's WWE Championship. Tiffany Stratton defends against Charlotte Flair.
This feud has gone off the rails.
Yeah, it really did.
And I don't know. I've been critical of Charlotte, but it's not the first time where she's gone off script on people to make herself look better. So, like, I'm not saying Tiffany was in the wrong last week, but she's, younger. Charlotte should know better. But we're also not live performers. We're not wrestlers. What the fuck do we know?
Yeah,
so
I always wonder with stuff like this, where it's like, oh, it was a shoot that they had, and they were real mad at each other. Now they're both in trouble. Like, yeah, maybe. Or maybe they just were like, yeah, fuck it. Let's just say some dumb shit and, laugh about it afterwards. Like, we don't know.
Right, but it's not Charlotte's first time doing it. That's what I mean.
No, it's not, but
she did it with Becky. She did it with Nia.
Man, that one with Nia was crazy. I still remember that Raw where they just fucking beat the shit out of each other. Charlotte picked the wrong woman to fuck around with that night. Oh boy. Tiffany wins.
Yeah, Tiffany needs the win. Charlotte should not be winning.
You're right. She absolutely should not be winning. However, I feel like it's a coin toss, honestly. My heart says Tiffany. My brain says Charlotte Flair. And I feel like I've said that before in a paradigm involving Charlotte Flair. And I feel like I came out, unfortunately, right on the brain with that one. So I'm hoping I'm wrong in this case because my heart says Tiffany, but my brain says Charlotte.
Shout out Ludwig Kaiser, by the way, as well. First
Yeah.
guy openly accused of cheating that nobody ever believed.
Yeah, good on you. You know,
Boy.
an industry full of slime and swill. Yeah, good for Ludwig.
The other women's championship match is for the world championship. Io Sky defends against Bianca Belair and now Rhea Ripley.
Who did what exactly to get that match?
Complain.
Just complain and constantly bitch and go ahead attacking both competitors in the match,
Yeah, it's like Rhea
which
Flair.
wasn't attacking people what got her out of the world championship in the first place. So what did we learn here exactly?
Charlotte Ripley.
I don't. Ugh.
Has not been good.
Io Sky
well,
wins.
she's not rated highest in 2K among the women for nothing. You
Is
know,
you in a rush here or something?
No, I just want it's like the build. Io is not being talked about by you guys. She's the afterthought. That's why I think she wins. I think this build has been quite fun, though. It's been it has been like a lot of bitching from Rhea, but the Bianca and Rhea side of it's been fun, and Io being the afterthought is really why I think she wins. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
I think we saw that same
ahead.
iteration of. I think we saw that same iteration of Rhea and Bianca getting each other's faces, and then Io getting facepalmed by somebody way too many fucking times. They did the gag once, and it got some sort of a pop, but then you do it like on what 2 or 3 other shows, the same, pretty much the same exact shit, same camera angles, same approaches, everything. Uh, I'm with you, Pierce. I think Io wins this one. I think Rhea and Bianca get their match maybe next year, if not the year after. But this one, I think Io comes out. I think it's way too soon to take the title off of her, especially when she's starting to experiment more in this face role, and people are buying it. People are on board with it. So
Yeah, she's working a lot better as a face than she did as a heel by far. Like the crowd is digging Io Sky right now. And I mean, I was big on thinking Bianca was going to win this one because that would hopefully set her up as a heel by the end of this. She has been quite, I don't want to say heelish, but like definitely not like your happy-go-lucky face like she has been for the last decade.
She's been
It
quite
seems.
booed. She's been quite booed.
Yeah, so I hope that regardless of the results of this match, it does lead to Bianca Belair being a heel and Rhea Ripley not being overdone so much. But yeah, I actually think Io's going to win too at this point. Like from a storytelling perspective, it makes sense for Io to win. I'd still probably prefer Bianca if she was a heel.
Bianca
But
turns in the match, then fine. But if they're just going with how this story is built, all signs point to the genius of the Sky.
yeah, I would agree with that. Then we'll move on to the men's matches. This one is a night one match and is likely to be the main event. It is the main event, actually. I'm going to skip the 2 title matches until the end. But in a triple threat match, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins.
Oh, I mean, this is the reason that I bought my night one ticket. Not besides like hanging out with you and Marta Donnie, but this is my favorite wrestler's first Mania match back, and his first ever Mania main event. And this story's been a lot of fun. It's had a lot of twists and turns. It's had a few too many favors.
And you got one more on Monday.
Yeah, which
Supposedly,
I don't
which
know if that. I don't think
counts.
Seth is a favor.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest.
that's a bit weird.
But I'm interested to see Roman without Paul because it maybe will start a legit character shift for Roman because it's very much he thinks that he's still God and he needs to learn his shit does stink. It's going to be nice to see the Paul Heyman CM Punk entrance for the first time in 12 years where he reads the watch and everything, and Seth's really just the perfect middleman of being a little instigating asshole. And because of that, and this new favor, I think Seth Rollins is going to walk out the winner.
Yeah, I mean, Seth does seem like the guy who. Again, the logical booking here is that Seth isn't distracted while the other two are. I don't know, Brandon. What do you think?
Well, I mean, I saw this theory that was floating around. Pretty sure it was on Reddit or something to that effect, where someone was like, "Well, what they could do here," and it turns out that the favor, was probably just that, was Heyman coming out to the ring with Punk. But what if, say, like Punk, there was a clause in the contract somewhere that wasn't highlighted in the promo where if Punk is to win this match, then he's also placed in the night two main event, which also then becomes a triple threat.
They're
It's
not
not going to
doing that.
happen.
That's
No, they're not going to. I don't think they're going to do that.
That feels like Tony Khan overbooking.
Right. But if they were going to do that, I would have confidently said Punk was going to win this match. That being said, I think now whether or not Paul aligns with Seth explicitly is, I guess, yet to be seen, and what his motivations would be behind that. Who's the fuck to say? But I think Seth takes advantage of the tumultuous little triangle that Paul and Punk and Roman all have now, and he pins. It's a matter of who he pins now. He hasn't pinned.
I think he pins Roman.
I don't think.
I mean, he's pinned Roman before. This would have been 10 years from the first time that he pinned Roman in a triple threat match.
Yep.
Of course, that one had a bit more, weight to it, shall we say?
It did
Also
have
a main
another
event,
Paul
but
Heyman guy.
it did have another Paul. Yeah, you're not wrong. So, but I want to say he pins Punk in this one. He's yet to pin Punk, if I recall correctly.
He has only beat
So,
Punk by being pulled out of the cage.
so there you go. I think he pins Punk in this one.
Yeah, I could see that.
If Paul Heyman turns on both of them, then yeah, I think he pins Punk. But if he doesn't turn, I think Roman without the wise man is getting pinned.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping for the Punk pin, if I'm being honest. I feel like Punk's been riding a really nice wave of momentum since he's been checked with very few interruptions, if any. So, I mean, if he gets his first main event, great. He deserved it. If he gets pinned in it, I mean, where do we go from there, right? Especially if Paul flips on him. It'll be very interesting. It creates a lot of intrigue post-Mania, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I could see that too. Like, oh, your first main event, you blew it. Right? Like,
yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah.
In the night one men's championship match,
Probably night one.
Yeah,
realistically,
I would expect us to open night one. Gunther defends the World Heavyweight Championship against Jey Uso.
Yeah, you guys can Rumble all you want. You guys have been on the hate Jay train since the Rumble, but doesn't matter.
Still am.
He was still the wrong winner.
It doesn't matter. It really doesn't at this point. We're 2 weeks away from Mania. The feud kicked into a higher gear. You guys didn't like the promo. 95% of people, including me, did. And
that gearbox seized up this last time. This gearbox seized up on Monday, I'll tell you.
Did according to you and you alone, though.
You bet. It wasn't just me.
It's mainly you and Donnie.
Well, I mean,
I have my online friends
I don't
Oh,
even.
the IWC.
who
That's a
said,
real good
who
fucking group.
said, were you moved by that promo on Monday,
Well,
Pierce?
like
Yeah.
here's my part on it, right? Where it's like, I'm scared of you. Then I watched you. Then I watched you murder my brother, and now I'm not scared of you anymore. Like,
People have
huh?
epiphanies.
Huh?
It seems psychopathic, frankly. Oh,
It's
I
not.
watched the worst.
It's not.
I watched my
That's
brother
why.
become a sacrificial lamb,
It's deluded.
literally a sacrificial lamb, held up as big game by this fucking monster. And now that I've seen the worst you can do, and effectively what is a reflection of me and my twin, now I'm just like, huh, if that's all he's got, then shit, I ain't got shit to be afraid of. That sounds psychopathic to me.
Yeah, it's a bit
He looked
deluded.
psychopathic in that promo. Did you see his
He's let him
face?
get to this point through this. Fine, whatever. But one of the things he said is he's going to pray for the man he's going to become on that Saturday.
Oh, sure.
And having him get to this point and get his confidence back, unfortunately at the behest of Jimmy, and he brought out the government name in this promo. You don't hear that too often. We did hear it a few weeks ago with Jade and Naomi,
Yeah.
but or not Jade, Bianca and Naomi.
It's Bianca
but,
and Naomi, yeah.
because of Jade. So we're sucked.
I think Punk got called Phil once too by Seth
Yeah, by
Rollins.
Michael Cole. That was a little odd.
And Drew.
But it's very
He's
much
given his own rendition of Stan.
if that's all that Gunther can do, then yeah, it makes sense that he has this moment where he's like, if that's the best he can do, and he may be up 3-0 on me, I know I can beat him because I'm going to go to a place that I don't want to bring out, but I have to beat this guy.
Again,
Yeah.
there's no like what says that's the best that Gunther can do. Like nothing says that
Right.
that's the best Gunther can do. Like there's no indication that that's the best that Gunther can do. Right? Like that's the flaw that I have with this line of like his brother got murdered. Okay, like that was like realistically when you think about gruesome scenes in WWE. When was the last time we saw a scene like that?
It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Borderline disturbing.
Right? Like, yeah, Cody bled to The Rock, didn't look nearly that bad. Brock Lesnar took a hard bump against Cody for some blood, didn't look nearly that bad. Like, this was like AEW levels of bloodshed here, whether that was accidental or not. It is what happened. And they made it work for like a very compelling
It was
segment for
compelling.
what it
It was
was.
very compelling.
But like, to my point, it's like this is literally one of the biggest beatdowns we've seen. And then for the person seeing that beatdown to be like, oh, well, that's the worst he can do. Like, brother, that's the worst thing that's happened to anybody in this ring in the last 5 years plus. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I think it's more that he had this moment where he remembered like who the right hand man was, and Brandon, I know you were like, oh, yeah, a lackey, who cares? But the right hand man, Jey Uso, was main event Jey Uso before he moved to Raw. It was the man who defended his family. It was the man who was weary of Sami Zayn, who defended Sami Zayn until they got to Mania 39, and then was the man who was taking bullets left and right for the tribal chief. And if that man comes out, not many people can beat him. That's my real point of it.
If Sammy can beat Gunther at Mania, then by that logic, yes, Jay should be able to as well. Like I see that line of thinking. Don't get me wrong. It's just I don't know. This whole bill has left a very bad taste in my mouth. Like there's no reason for Gunther to be intimidated by what Jay had to say on Monday.
But it was
No, he looked
intimidation. It was Gunther was smiling the whole time. He was dancing to Jay's music. Like he was confident, he was ready, and then you kind of just see the confidence get shaken. And this is where Gunther, who's not really known as a great actor, has been a great actor the past 2 weeks. Because he was the one who killed him and was, just reveling in the murder and was bathed in blood and smiling and was just looking at Jay. And then you see him, all happy-go-lucky, and then Jay starts talking to him, and you got a mother. I'm going to pray for you and your kid. I'm going to pray for you and your wife because of the man I'm about to become. And you could just see the confidence that the whole character of Gunther is that he is so confident in his abilities. The mat is sacred. Nobody's as good as him. And when he was, realistically at his best and did something that was even in his eyes was probably way too far, you see something in Jay's eyes change, and it caused Gunther's confidence to shatter just a little bit, just a little chink in the armor, and that's what's going to cause Gunther to lose on Saturday. So I'm going to go with Jay.
Didn't Sami Zayn have a very similar promo to that right before his match with Kevin Owens?
I do not recall.
I feel like he did. And that's where it's like, that setup where it's like, oh, I've hit another level. Like, because like Kevin went to spy on him when he was with his family to be a weirdo like that. And then I think the following week, Sammy had that a promo that was along those lines where it was like, I'm going to go to that level where your family is going to feel bad and all that crap. Like, and then Sammy lost. I don't think Gunther should lose here. And I don't think he's going to. I think Gunther retains.
I think Jay definitely puts his back up against a wall a bit. Don't get me wrong. Like, I think without a stip, Jay doesn't have a fucking prayer, even if he's praying himself for as much as he's praying. But I have to believe there's going to be blood in this match. I have to believe there's going to be a lot of big spots for whatever that's worth if you've watched Jay's match last year. But I would agree with you, Don. I think Gunter not only can Gunter win, not only will he win, but he really, on principle, should win. Mm-hmm. I think whatever they set up last week between Jay and Gunter got absolutely besmirched and just went straight down the can with what Jay did this week. I think when you see your brother get literally slaughtered like that, and you have this guy who's effectively maniacal, and you can tell in his action towards Jimmy, he don't give a shit what he's got to do to retain that title. That showed another side of Gunther too. And Jay's seen it, but he ain't seen all of it, to your point, Don. So you put that in a match, and Gunther's an endurance machine. He's already proved that. He's got the Rumble record to prove it. So this match could go distance, and I don't think Gunther should get fazed by this at all. I think Gunther could and should and will walk out world champ.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this opens night one. We'll see what happens. But what we know will be closing night two, the main event for the whole weekend. Cody Rhodes defends his undisputed WWE Championship against John Cena. John Cena's last WrestleMania match. Possibly John Cena's last title opportunity as a challenger. If he, don't know if he has another title match in him if he loses.
That's a lot to think about.
Yeah.
This is another super interesting story, especially since the Cena heel turn. I don't have too much to say on it because Cody's going to be doing the heavy lifting for the last little bit. Cena just got announced for the SmackDown before Mania, so there's that.
Vegas. Yeah, he's in Vegas next Friday.
But it's Cena. Cena's win 17 and 18.
Yeah, I think Cena wins.
I don't really have.
Had to sneak. You had to sneak in the little 18 there, didn't you? I caught what you did there. Don't think I missed that, Pierce.
They're only going to call it the 17th title. And then when they
celebrate,
when they celebrate,
don't get me wound up, Pierce.
When they celebrate 17, and he makes a comment on 17 and not 18, then we'll know.
Mm-hmm.
Good. It was good. It was a good little effort, though. I commend it. I do think
Cena's they retire win. It. I'm just saying.
It's not going to count.
God damn it.
It's not a 17th and 18th reign. It's just a 17th.
John Cena said, when I win 17 and when I lose it, I'm hoping to shake the hand of the person who wins 18,
Yeah,
inferring heavily that is strictly and categorically a 17th reign, period.
correct. Yeah, that is exactly what he said.
I understand that, but they have not retired the
You're going to
lineage.
argue with John Cena. Pierce, come on now.
He is going to argue with John Cena.
Christ almighty. Cripes all Friday.
I'm just saying, I showed you guys the lineages, and you got mad. But that's not my fucking fault. Blame
I'll tell you what you can do with your
WWE.
lineage. I'll tell you what you can do with your lineages, Pierce.
I'll tell you what you
Matter
can
of fact, I'll show you when I see you on Thursday, boy.
Turn that sucker up sideways and stick it straight up your candy ass, which, by the way, that's a good segue. Will we see the final boss?
I almost feel like we have to.
We should, but I really don't know.
I feel like we have to as well. Like, even if he just flies in for like 6 hours and then dips, like, he's got to be there, right?
Well, and the thing is with two, ever since this all started, John has yet to explain in any way, shape, or form how he associates with the Dwayne in all of this. Because he stood alongside him at the chamber.
Yep.
So there's an obvious association there, but he's yet to speak on it.
Yeah, Cody did say he sold his soul to The Rock, but like, we know nothing about.
He's not confirmed or denied it.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, there was no detail on that whatsoever. So I'm hoping the Dwayne, he's got to show up for Vegas. Come on, no.
You'd think so. Do we get Stone Cold Steve Austin in this match?
I hope so.
That'd be cool.
I almost don't think I don't know if it logically makes sense for him to get involved. Like last year, having all the people come out, it's bloodline rules, all that stuff. Sure. They do it again this year. It's like you're trying to catch lightning in a bottle twice. It feels like. Is my opinion.
I get what you're saying.
Whether Stone Cold should be involved or not, you know?
Right.
Sure. Well, and to that point too, like say Austin gets involved, right? You have to assume he's going to be siding with Cody or at least against The Rock.
You think
so? Then if Austin gets involved, then like you would think that whoever he's involved with would probably ultimately win the match, right? I mean, you don't bring Austin out of the woodwork after 3 years or what have you, just for his effort to go in vain for whatever he's doing, right?
Yeah, that's a very fair point. Maybe he maybe he sides with the final boss because he loves doing heel turns at WrestleMania.
He does love doing that.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. Those are the 11 matches announced for the show. We might have a couple more. If we do, and we're not able to record in Vegas, we'll probably post something, a quick hit on those other matches.
Oh, yeah.
But that covers the card, and that covers our show, essentially. Does anybody else have anything they wanted to add?
I just would like to say that I'm very excited that we are like doing this. Well, y'all are going to be seeing both nights. I at least get to see night 2 with the both of you. I'll be chilling poolside doing whatever. Well, I'll be hitting up Fremont Street at some point. Oh, I'll be getting a little boozy by the pool ski, yeah. We taking some of that sweet, sweet commentary that you boys will be missing out on. But, I mean, I'm excited. Like, you got, I'm going to say it for the second time, TNA, Unbreakable. I'm excited to see my first TNA show before the big days,
Did you get tickets?
I'm excited.
You actually went out. You got a ticket for the show?
I'm going to do that tomorrow.
Okay.
So I'm going to get my ticket. They still have tickets on sale for it. So, well, really all they're doing is just like you had the original Unbreakable with the triple threat that put TNA on the map or whatever. So they're effectively just doing triple threats, it looks like, through the show. And then, so it's 3 triple threats and then a final triple threat with the winners of the triple threats. And the winner of that triple threat is the new TNA International Champion. So that's what they're doing with that. It's just like it's a special. It's not like a PLE much of anything like that. But
Well, with so many
it's just simply fun.
three ways, it's important to have somebody from the Ope three-way there.
That is
Oh,
true.
naturally, the only representative of the
Yes.
Ope three-way to make an appearance at a TNA show,
You will be the only
right?
representative there. They are actually coming to an area outside of just close by in the city, but I'm in Montreal the weekend that they are, so.
Yeah, that's all good. I feel like they make pretty frequent stops to Canada anyway, so there's always opportunities.
And Brandon's at another, or sorry, Pierce is at another show that night too. He's going to Bloodsport.
Oh, yeah. ECW
Sure are.
Bloodsport, which has a ton of WWE representation. But they just announced the main event: Josh Barnett versus Gabe Kidd. I need that in my
Oh
bones.
Lord,
Um,
God.
I'm floor. I'm third row. Like, I got really good tickets for a really good price. I'm pumped. It's gonna be my first real independent show. So
Nice.
yeah, and then WrestleCon, of course.
Well, I
Meet
guess I
some wrestlers.
we should do a very quick thing on Stand and Deliver too. Sorry. Now that I realize, I'm like, wait a minute, there's another show that's happening that I'm going to at least,
Oh yeah.
that we tend to talk about. We're gonna really quickly blitz through these. Who wins the Women's North American Championship?
Sol Ruka.
I agree.
Yeah,
So
I gotta,
Where's
yeah, it's her time.
do Nathan Frazier and Axiom retain the tag titles?
Of course they do.
I don't think they do. I think they lose.
Who are they facing again?
We don't know.
Oh God.
They're retaining over WWE Hall of Famer vacant.
I think they lose to
Yep.
Vacant.
I believe in vacant.
Ricky Saints defends the North American Championship in a fatal versus a winner of a fatal four-way that's on Tuesday. I would assume that's going to be Ethan Page, and I assume that he will beat Ethan Page.
Retains in a banger.
Yes.
Yep.
Who wins the NXT Women's Championship in a fatal four-way?
If Julia shows up with braided hair, Julia. If not, Stephanie retains. Or Jordan.
Yeah,
retains.
I think Fahara retains. Well, that's hard to say because
I think Jada Parker wins.
oh,
That'd be a cool swerve.
I think Jada Parker wins, and all three of them go up to the main roster.
that's bold move, bold prediction, but totally valid though. I mean, Stephanie's pretty much right there. All she needed to do is learn a little bit of promo.
Yeah, like I don't know how many more matches they need to have with each other, right? Like, yeah, sure. Like Jordan Grace hasn't had a one-on-one match, but like she also doesn't need to be in NXT either.
No.
So yeah, give it to Jada Parker. Let the other three go. And
All right, so say it the Don.
triple threat NXT Championship: Ope-Eh, Trick Williams, Javon Evans.
Femi. With Trick Williams being revealed as the leader of the Dark State.
You think so?
And Javon Evans ultimately. Well, it's got to be either Trick or Javon. I would have to think.
I think Javon wins, and he's the leader of Dark State.
Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah,
I think
It'd
that's
be cool
going
if
to be
Javon had his own stable.
But man, if Javon wins and Trick and Oba both go to the main roster, like, oh man, the men's scene in NXT is even more barren.
Yeah, I don't think Oba's ready just yet. I think Trick probably is. Oba, I think, could use a little bit more proving as like a champion because I think that's what they're going to try and do with him as soon as he gets to the roster is slap a belt on him. And if he continues to do well as NXT champ, then shit, like you said, I think you said Pierce right by SummerSlam, they could easily slap any belt on him and make it believable. I think not like world title right away, but certainly Intercontinental, US.
We'll see.
So
yeah,
I think Oba retains, but Javon's the bad guy.
Yeah, I'll be third row at that show too. Yep, Marta and I will both be there.
Nice.
So
yeah, probably run into Najee, Pierce's new best friend Najee over there.
Is he going to WWE World on Friday, Pierce?
What's that?
Is he going to WWE World on Friday, Najee?
He was going to look into it. I'm going to text him just to
Maybe
confirm some
introductions.
stuff.
Oh,
Maybe.
you're gonna text him?
Well, the
Oh, you.
Twitter DM, same thing.
Oh, okay. I was like, you guys are that close now, eh?
Maybe after Mania weekend, but
Hey,
we'll get there when we get there.
we will get there.
Will be very soon. We fly out Tuesday morning.
It's gonna come and go so fast, boys. I hope it stays a bit, but it's gonna.
Fly out Thursday morning, and then I'll probably take an Uber to Luxor and grab some breakfast while you guys are sleeping.
We got to check out at 11. So you're getting in. What'd you say, like 8:30, something like that?
7:50 is when my flight lands, so I'll be there probably 8:30.
I don't think you'll get out of the airport that fast.
Oh, I'm pretty quick. I only have one bag to carry.
Oh, you're not checking a bag?
Oh no, duffel bag all day, buddy.
Mm.
All right.
And a clear plastic backpack to walk around for autographs and stuff. And
Yeah,
the picture.
that's actually an important thing to have. So
got one
clear
from
backpack?
last year, so I'll just use the one that I have.
So, dumbass question: why a clear backpack?
so
only
they're
have a
making
clear
sure
one.
you're not bringing in anything you're not supposed to.
Oh, sure.
It's like the
That makes sense.
clear bag policy that NFL has is very similar.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right. Checks out.
Okay.
It does.
I think that ends our episode. See you guys in Vegas.
Oh, we're gonna be seeing each other.
We shall,
We're gonna-
because no matter who wins or loses, we boozing.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be boozing. We've been blowing up them socials, getting in the DMs, fucking
do some
DJing on
interviews.
Fremont.
Sent some stuff. We'll see Living Color live, which is hype because Cult of Personality, CM Punk Withstanding has been one of my favorite songs since Guitar Hero 3. So there's a lot of cool stuff going on. I'm excited for it. Brandon, anything else you want to say?
TNA. That's about it.
Send us home,
No,
please.
no,
I regret
fucking great.
You shouldn't have done
asking
it.
that question.
You shouldn't have done it.
Open.
Donnie,
Hoping
do
to
you want to
see-
say anything? I don't want that to be the last word of the episode before I send us home.
No, I mean, I think it's going to be a fun week next week.
It's gonna be a great fucking time. Can't wait to spend it with you boys and Marta.
Hell yeah.
And of course, shout out Marta. We're gonna find a tailgate. But before we do that, as always, thanks for stopping to the Ope 3-Way. Have a beer on us. We'll see you next time, hopefully in Vegas. Have a good night.